Hello, my name is Jason Nassar. I work for Dell Technologies and I lead the manufacturing strategy for the Edge.
And I'm David Ursone. I work for Dell Technologies, running a team of engineering technologists supporting NativeEdge.
When it comes to manufacturing customers, it's all about return on investment. Customers are interested in use cases because at the end of the day, they're all looking forward to increasing their productivity, producing more product, decreasing downtime, and doing it all in a safe manner for a return on investment. What I want to talk to you about is how artificial intelligence and NativeEdge have actually provided the capability for Industry 4.0 to actually scale and repeat itself so that it can actually be implemented. Everybody knows right now that generative AI is critical to what's going on right now in the world. 54% of companies already know or they are planning on implementing generative AI. If a company is not implementing generative AI, the employees that are working for that company definitely are, because they're already seeing the improvements that are happening right now and the benefits that come along with them doing it themselves. One thing that's very clear about generative AI is that a lot of people see these workloads being moved directly over to the edge, not necessarily only in the cloud. What we're going to see with generative AI is a massive improvement in productivity. We're going to be able to reduce the costs by applying this to the applications directly, and we're going to see new products being brought to the market through the manufacturing outcomes that are going to come from generative AI. And ultimately, at the end of the day, this is going to improve customer experiences because they're going to have a better user interface to work with, and they're going to be able to scale and do things from a natural perspective. Now, artificial intelligence, it's really not new to the manufacturing space at the end of the day. The way that it has been done in the past is it really was a focus on creating models for producing products at higher quality. And a lot of that data has been sent out to the cloud so that you could create models, and then those models would be brought right back down to the manufacturing floor where they could actually be run. The difference with generative AI is that it uses large language models, and directly at the edge, we're going to be focusing a little bit more on small language models, SLMs. These SLMs are going to provide the capability to have the information that's directly related to what's going on in the industry. So unlike tools such as ChatGPT, where they have a large breadth of information and you could ask it a question about how to make French toast, these small language models are not necessarily going to provide you an answer for that, but what they will do is provide you an answer directly related to what's going on that factory floor. We're going to see revolutionary outcomes that are going to be processed fairly quickly. So at this point right now, if a controls engineer is trying to optimize what's going on the factory floor, this is a very manual process. First, they need to connect all of the data to the gateway or the computer so that they can process that data. And then they need to normalize that data. So they need to make sure that they are assigning tags to the different messages and the signals that are there. And then ultimately, their next step is that they need to create dashboards so that the optimizations that are happening on that factory floor can be visualized. And sometimes they have to connect multiple applications. With generative AI, this is all going to change. And the reason why this is changing is because everything is going to be far simpler. Using NLP, or natural language processing, is going to allow customers at the end of the day to very simply ask for the data to be normalized. What's going to be able to happen is that diagrams such as P&ID, piping and identification diagrams, can be uploaded directly into the models. And schematics that are showing the wiring of the entire configuration of a work center can be uploaded as well as standard operating procedures. You can even take photos of what's going on or video of that factory floor and upload it. So what does this provide at the end of the day? When it comes to creating these dashboards, they're going to be automatically generated. What's going to happen is this customer is going to simply say, I want to see the overall equipment effectiveness of this process or operation, and a dashboard is going to be created. And they're going to get that data in real time. And if they want to make a modification, they're going to say, you know what, you added a couple of things that I'm not interested in. Please don't include the downtime of machine A or B. And it's going to make a modification to that dashboard in real time. Other things that we are going to see is the creation of time series graphs simply by asking a question. And if you wanted to see the future of what's going to happen in that exact same process, that is all going to be possible as well, just by saying, can you show me a prediction of what's going to happen within the next 3 weeks? This wasn't possible before. This is going to greatly reduce the amount of time that it takes to receive and understand and visualize your outcomes that are happening on the factory floor. Now I'm going to hand over to my colleague David so that he can talk about NativeEdge.
Thank you, Jason. So now let's talk about NativeEdge and how it can help you in this journey to modernize your manufacturing plant using Gen AI and AI in that infrastructure. So we know that there's a lot of challenges at the edge, right? Whether that's silos and proliferation of technology, whether that's non-local skilled IT resources, scalability, how do you manage this infrastructure in large quantities, right? And security, obviously, is a very key concern that a lot of our customers are witnessing today and trying to figure out how they're going to solve for these challenges. And that's why we introduced Dell Native Edge. With Dell Native Edge, we incorporate principles like secure device onboarding and zero-touch provisioning. And this really allows you to address the challenge of not having a local skilled resource out at that remote site simply by plugging in a power cord and an Ethernet cable and turning the device on. The device will dial home and connect into our NativeEdge orchestrator and does a security check to ensure that the device hasn't been tampered with in any way. You also see challenges around lower barrier to entry. So we have a portfolio of hardware available to you to pick the right compute needs to solve the problem that you're trying to solve for today. Also, handling massive scale. So we want to be able to allow you to manage and maintain thousands of devices across hundreds of sites, or however many sites and devices you have in your environment today. And obviously, by design, it must be multi-cloud. We want to give you the freedom to choose the cloud provider of your choice to use the technology that you see fit to solve the problems that you have today. So with Dell Native Edge, I mentioned secure device onboarding and zero-touch provisioning. These are foundations of the product along with security. These devices are tamper-proof, so you can't pick them up and start playing with them. The only way that you manage them is through the NativeEdge orchestrator in a central location that we house on premises in your data center. With Dell Native Edge, we've also worked with our Dell validated design partners, and we've incorporated their software stack into our catalog. Our catalog allows our customers to deploy the software knowing that they are following the best practices, not only of the Dell technology, but also of the ISV. For example, this could be ABB, Centarity, Litmus, XM Pro, just to name a few. Now, you're not just stuck with the technologies that we've incorporated into our catalog. You have the ability to put your own applications in the catalog as well and manage them across, again, hundreds or thousands of sites in a very simplistic manner. So when we talk about Dell Native Edge, we want to give you a consistent application delivery model, no matter if it's the edge location, maybe a core data center, or even into a cloud environment. This allows us to send the appropriate application to the appropriate location so that you can manage and maintain this infrastructure that you see fit. You might want to send some of the language models that Jason was referencing earlier down to those edge devices to do some inferencing, for example. But then all of that data doesn't typically need to be stored locally. Sometimes you send that data back to a centralized location. So you could build a blueprint that says, hey, I want to send the application down to the endpoint device that needs to reside there. You could also send the application, a piece of that application, out to the data center or to the cloud, where you might be collecting the data in a data lake and then using machine languages to refine your language models that you have today out at the edge. All of this is done seamlessly through Dell Native Edge. Now, we also do lifecycle management of these endpoint devices. So we allow you to do the firmware and software updates, but in addition to that, we extend that up into the application layer. Through the power of blueprinting, you can simply update your blueprint to the latest version of that software that you're utilizing and then deploy it at your choice. Whether that's done in an ad hoc fashion or whether it's done through scheduler, you have the ability to choose the method that you would like to deploy the new application out to this environment. With that, I'd like to hand it back to Jason to talk a little bit more about smart manufacturing.
So let me tie everything together. Industry 4.0 has been stalled, as I said from the beginning. But now with artificial intelligence and NativeEdge, we're able to manage and orchestrate at scale for factories. No longer will controls engineers have to walk around a factory floor utilizing USB sticks to update every single machine one at a time. Simply put, the software can be deployed with zero-touch provisioning, allowing customers at the end of the day to save valuable man-hours, and they don't have to manage each device individually. So that concludes our presentation on manufacturing and artificial intelligence and deploying that with NativeEdge platform. It allows you to make everything easy when it comes to deploying your solutions to that factory floor. We can accelerate AI and innovation, and we deliver the outcomes that bring return on investment for our customers. Thank you for your time.